Hey there, and welcome to Japan Online. Well, you're looking at some kids coming to our school to take our entrance exam. February and March are pretty much the 2 months where junior high school kids have to take either or both public entrance exams, public school entrance exams, or private school entrance exams. And I'll get into the actual process of the exams, but first, each kid has to take either one or two. If they want to go to a public school, then they have to take the public school and a private school. They can only take one of each. They can't take two public schools and two privates or whatever. They can only take one private and one public. The reason why they take two is if they don't pass the public school's entrance exam, then they must go to a private school. If you're going to go to a private school, then you just take the private school entrance exam and hope that you get in. But you most likely will, because it's the last straw. But that depends on what how good the actual school is. So they have to take the public first. Well, no, actually, depending on the school, whether they take the public first or the private school, but they have to take one public and one private. And so these kids here are taking the private school exam, and basically what it is they come to the school, and there's a set of guidelines what each of these kids have to follow. They come to the school. They are allocated a section in the gymnasium where they meet up, and sometimes they'll put some school bags or bags down. And maybe their teacher that's helping them out with this entrance exam will sit there and check that every kid's there. Every kid has the pens and pencils and rulers and everything they need. They go up to their allocated class and they line up their bags like this in front of their class that they're going to have their exams in. They will get their pens and pencils out, their compasses and whatever, and their little test card, and they'll put it on their desk and wait. Then a teacher will tell them what's going to happen. They'll give them information like this teacher here is giving. He's giving information about where the toilets are, what exams are, and what in the order and everything like that. And then the kids will go outside and wait for 10 or 15 minutes. And then at this point, the teacher and I, we're actually picking them up. This is after they've done the exam. But we put the test down on the table. The kids are outside. They put the test down on the table, on the desks, and we just wait till the time is set for them to come into this classroom. The bell rings, they come in, and they sit there and they wait for the next bell to ring to start the test. The test takes about 40 to 55 an hour, depending on the test or the school. I think the other ones take 45 minutes. They do the test. The bell rings, they all leave, they don't touch the test, it sits on their desk, and then, as you saw just before, the teacher and I will go around picking up all the tests. They'll be taken to a room and collected, and then the students will wait outside. We put down the next test on the table, and then the bell rings, and so on. And each kid will have to do the 5 main tests, which is Japanese, science, math, social studies, and English. Those are the 5 main tests that all these kids will have to do at our school. They're most likely the same throughout the other schools, but I'm pretty sure maybe a little bit different, but pretty much the same. So they do these 5 tests in one day. They do 3 in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. And then once all 5 tests have finished, some kids will stay and actually complete the interview test, which is 5 to 10 students come into a room and sit in front of 3 judges or 3 teachers, and they're each asked a couple of questions. Like you see here, there's a set of seats there, and each of the kids will sit there, and the judges, or the teachers in this case, will interview them. They'll ask the group 1 question or 2 questions, and each of them will answer. Then the teacher will write down their comment or their grade of what they think that student is, and it's as simple as that. Then that kid will go home. So that could be day 1. If they don't do the interview test on day 1, then they'll come back for day 2 and do the interview test, and that will be pretty much it. So it's a pretty difficult schedule, a tight schedule. 5 tests in one day. Some will do an interview on the first day, and some will do an interview on the second. And it's pretty tough. And like I said, they have to do this twice. One for a public school and one for a private school. So yeah, these kids go through a lot, and they have to study for these tests. And they have to practice what they must do because there's strict guidelines and everything. So these kids have just finished, and hopefully they've passed. And they'll know. And marking them, well, like I said, there's 1,000 kids, so there's 1,000 tests we have to mark, times 5. Lovely. Anyway, that's another story. So thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Click on the big red button there and you'll be able to subscribe to this channel. That means you'll be able to get updates when we post the videos onto YouTube. To the left there we have a couple of videos. The top one there is continuing with school. It's the winter holidays homework that my daughter received. And then there we have the Koinobori, which is coming up. Thought you might want to see that. That's coming up as Boys' Day. I think I can't remember the exact date, but that's coming up somewhere around March, end of March, end of April, early May. So check out those 2 videos. And thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're everywhere. And please just share the videos if you can. Later.